Right. Okay, stand nice and comfortably. We're going to start just circling your wrists. So just with your arms nice and comfortably by your side, just start circling through the wrists. And we're going to keep the wrists circling and imagine the arms are getting nice and long, and you're going to just stretch your arms out as wide as you can and keep circling your wrists all the way up towards the ceiling. That's it, just really circle those wrists around and keep pushing your arms wide and long all the way to your fingertips, coming down. Keep circling through those wrists. Loosen off that tension through the arms. Fantastic. Okay, one more. We're going to circle up towards the top and then hold it there. So keep circling through your wrists. Might hear some clicks and some crunches, but that's fine. Just keep circling them through. Circle all the way up towards the ceiling. There we go. And then just hold your hands up really tall. So grab hold of one of your wrists and push your hands right up towards the ceiling. Imagine your hands and your arms are lengthening through your spine. And the further you push up towards the ceiling, the more stretch and space you're creating between each of the vertebrae in your spine. That's it, fantastic. Keep pushing and lengthening. Good, stretch up as tall as you can. Now, the wrist that you are holding, you're going to pull over your body. So I've got my left hand around my right wrist. So I'm going to pull my right arm over towards the side now. Just focusing through the shoulders first of all. Take it to that point and just do a couple of breaths. Breathe in and out. Just hold that arm and just pull it. And then I'm going to go a bit further. I'm going to allow the ribs to come over. So I'm allowing this shift to happen through the ribs. There we go. So we take the stretch down to the next level. Breathing in and breathing out. Each time you breathe out, you might just get a little bit further stretch. So more lengthening through the arms. Good. And then we go down. We allow the hips to move now. So breathe in. As you breathe out, let your hips shift over to the side, and we're creating this nice curve through the whole of the spine and down into the pelvis as well. Good. Just hold that stretch. And very gently come back up. Move the hips first, then allow the ribs to move, and then bring your shoulders back up to center. Swap your hands around. So you're grabbing hold of the other wrist now, and you're going to just pull the arms over. So just the arms first of all. Lovely. And then a couple of breaths. And remember, every time we do the breathing with a stretch, each time you breathe out, just imagine your body's just softening, lengthening. You're getting deeper into the stretch that you're doing. And then the next time as you breathe out, you're going to allow the ribs to shift over. So we're going to breathe out, we're going to allow the ribs to come over. So we're just drawing that arm a little bit further over. Good, keep your hips on top of your knees for this point. Keep breathing and softening into that stretch. And on your next out breath, we can allow the hips to travel over. So we can allow the hips to go over now. So we're creating that even more of a stretch coming down through the side. So you should feel it all the way down through your side into the pelvis there. Lovely. And just breathe out as you just see if you can just lower yourself down, maybe just a millimetre more. And on the way back up, move the hips over, move the ribs over. Keep the arms up nice and straight. Good. Just let your arms relax down by your side. We're going to stretch through the forearms now. So take your hand. I'm going to come close to the camera so you can see now. Take your hand and you'll put your fingers down and just hold with your other hand. So you're pulling your hand away. So this works quite nicely just to work all the way through your forearm there. Just hold that stretch. Good. And just keep pushing your hand away. Remember, when we hold these stretches, every stretch, a minimum length of time you're going to hold it for is at least 20 seconds. So holding that for another few seconds as we're stretching out through your wrist there. And then when you're ready, you're going to swap to the other hand. So fingers pointing down, grab hold and just pull the wrist. So you're pulling it like this. So the stretch is happening all the way through the front of my arm here. So if you've been doing a lot of typing or using the mouse, anything like that, you'll probably feel that you've got quite a lot of tension going on through the front of your arm there. Some of you might not feel too much of a stretch, but it's quite a good one just to open out through there anyway. Good. And we're going to take it to the other way. So this time your fingers come down towards the floor. You're just going to pull it that way. Pull your hand towards you. So we're stretching through our forearm muscles here on the top now. So just hold that stretch. Good. And again, we're going to hold it for at least 20 seconds. So we feel a nice stretch there. Really, for this one, you don't generally want to lock out any joints, but we are pushing the elbow nice and straight, so it is pretty much locked out for this stretch, just so we can get as much lengthening through that muscle as we can. And then the same on the other side. So again, fingers pointing down. Take your hand around the back of your down the back of your hand and pull it in towards you, so you're getting that stretch all the way through the muscles on the top there. Good. So, as you can see, we're kind of just holding it. There we go. Pulling it out there. Fantastic. Again, just hold that for a few more seconds. Good. Okay, so we're going to stretch through your side again now, but this time we're going to do it with one hand's going to come up and go down over your back here. With the other hand, you're going to take hold of your elbow. So we're in this position here. So the elbow that's pointing up towards the ceiling, that's the side we're going to stretch. So keep pushing your hand down. So you're trying to push your fingertips down through the center of your spine there. So this stretch already is giving you a nice lengthening through the back of the arm there. Okay, now from here, we're going to use this hand to pull you over. So we're coming into that side stretch now. So now we're getting a deeper stretch than we did that first one that we just started with earlier. And just take yourself over. So that stretch should be coming down the back of your arm and into your side now. Good. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath when you're doing this stretch. Keep breathing so that as you breathe out, you can just feel everything softening and lengthening. You might be able to just take it down a little bit further. Breathing in, breathing out and sinking into it. Super. And then just gently come back up. Let's swap the arms around so the other hand goes down between your shoulder blades. So we are in this position here. You're holding on nice and tight to the top of the elbow. So we're getting that stretch all the way down the arm just there. Good. So just hold that. And again, with your breathing, each time you breathe out, just let that arm either push it down a little bit further or just let the arm just sink down. Don't force it if it doesn't feel like it's going to go. There's a difference between, cool, that feels like a nice stretch, and, oh, I think I've pushed it a bit too far. So make sure you're taking it to a nice stretching feel. Okay, and then from here, we're going to use this hand to pull the arm over. So you're lengthening now. So the stretch is coming all the way down through the arm there and all the way into your side as well. So drawing it over. Just watch as you do this that you don't end up pushing your head forward. Try and keep yourself, imagine you've been trapped between two panes of glass. So you're keeping yourself in line with your hips and you're not starting to lean forwards as you do it. There we go. That should feel a nice stretch through your side there. And again, as you breathe out, just sink into it a tiny little bit more. And breathe out as you start to bring yourself back up again. Fantastic. Let your arms just relax down. Just circle through your shoulders and release that tension through there. Good. Take your hands together again now. You're going to push away in front of you. So you're in this position here. One hand behind the other and really push yourself, push your hands forwards. From here, I want you to keep pushing forwards. I'll do it from the side. You're going to keep pushing forwards. Bring your feet maybe a little bit wider apart. Push forwards. Keep pushing. The more you push forwards, the more your bottom's going to start to come backwards behind the heels. So we're going to try and come down to a nice flat tabletop position as you're pushing your hands away. So you're lengthening through the shoulders, but the stretch, is coming down through the back of your thighs there. So you're pushing your bottom back. Really stretch and lengthen and just softly bring yourself back in again and push the arms up towards the ceiling. So you're still lengthening through the arms. Here we go. We're going to do two more of those. So keep pushing up towards the ceiling, push your bottom back and lengthen through the legs and push your arms forwards. Stretch. Imagine you're trying to push the wall away from you in front of you. Good. Keep pushing your hands as you stack back up again. Draw the hips forwards as you're coming back up. Just watch, because the knees in this one try to lock back quite a bit, so we need to just concentrate a little bit to keep them a little bit soft. Okay, maybe swap the hands round this time. We'll do the last one. So push towards the ceiling, keep pushing towards the ceiling, bring it round so you're pushing towards the wall. stick your bottom back. So we're trying to keep a nice flat back for this one. It's not a roll down. That's it, good. Now push your bottom back. Keep lengthening. Imagine someone's grabbed hold of your wrists and pulling you apart, pulling you towards the wall. And then keep pushing through your hands as you stack back up again. And let the arms just relax down by your side. Super. Let's put one foot in front of the other. From this position here, your front knee is going to do a little bit of a bend. Okay, so keep that nice and soft. Your back leg, we're going to take the heel off of the floor. And you're going to just, keeping that bend in the front knee, just push your heel back with the back leg. So we get that stretch through the back of your leg again. So now the stretch coming down more into your calf. You're going to bend it up, so bend that back leg, and then stretch it back down, push the heel down towards the floor again. Good. Soften the knee, and then push it back. If you're not getting a stretch through your calf, take your foot a little bit further back. Try and keep your shoulders and your hips going down through the center so that you're not leaning too far forward. Okay, so coming onto your tiptoes with the back foot, and then just lengthening, push your heel back. Okay, bend the knee, and then lengthen it. Push the heel down towards the floor. Good. Soften the knee, and lengthen it again. There we go. So you should get this really nice stretch through the back of your calf. And the more you do it, the more it's starting to loosen off and the easier it is to put the heel down towards the mat. Let's just do 2 more with this leg. Slowly bend and lengthen it. That's it, good. Getting a little bit easier. And lengthen. Fantastic. Right, swap the legs around. Ooh, other leg forward. Little bit of a bend in that front knee so we're not locking it out. Okay, and the back leg, we're going to just stretch that heel. Ooh, a bit more wobbly when I turn around there. Push the heel towards the ground. Come up, push right up onto your toes, and then let the heel sink down again. Come up onto your toes, and let the heel sink down. Good. Push up to your toes, and then lengthen the heel down. Feel that stretch. When it starts to get quite easy, just take your foot a little bit further back. So lengthen it back. Bend your knee, soften, and lengthen the heel down towards the mat. So you're aiming to get that back foot flat onto the mat. Don't force it, remember, if it's not feeling comfortable. There we go, lengthen it down. Good. Soften the knee and lengthen it down again. Good. 2 more. Soften the knee, lengthen through the leg. Oh, that's it, good. Soften through the knee, last one, and lengthen down. Fantastic. Come off of that. We're going to go down to the mat. So let's come onto all fours onto the mat. Get yourself set up nice and comfortably so that you have your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Okay, we're going to work through the spine. So do a nice deep breath in. As you breathe in, tuck under with your hips and push your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling as much as you can. And breathe out. As you breathe out, sink down through the spine, lift through the hips, lift through the chest, look forward. So we're creating this nice arch through the back. There we go, nice breath in, tuck under with your hips. Really push your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. And breathe out as you sink through. So work with your own breathing pattern, nice and slow. So we're taking a nice deep breath in. The more we're breathing in and trying to open up through the ribs, we're pushing our spine up towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, emptying through the lungs, tilt your hips up and lift through the chest. Good. Last one. Breathe in, tuck under. Really push up towards the ceiling. And breathe out as you sink down and lengthen through with your hips lifting up. Super. So from here, we are going to take one of your legs forwards and you're going to see if you can tuck it across. So see if it will come across in front of you, and then we lengthen this other leg back, so we're coming down into this position. If you can't get the leg across in front of you, so if you notice this leg's going right across there as before I lengthen back, if you can't turn it like that, try it so that it's in that straight position there. Okay, good. So if you can tuck it, lengthen right back. Let's sink right down into the stretch. So your arms are coming down into this position onto the mat. And you're just going to lean into the side. So you're stretching. I'm on the opposite side to the camera at the minute, but I'm stretching through my glutes on that side. So I'm going to lean into it and see if I can put my pressure into my bottom on that side. And I'll feel that stretch coming all the way through the glutes there. Good. Just be careful with this one. If anybody's getting any pain in their groin, I think just come out of the stretch and go back to those cat-cow stretches, so you're on all fours and just opening up through the spine. Pain in the groin with any exercises where we're working through the pelvis isn't great. So if you do get any pain doing this, then get in contact with me and I'll show you some alternatives for these stretches. Okay, now from here, push onto your hands. So we're going to open up through the chest. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades backwards and look up towards the corner of your room. So you're pushing your chin forwards as well. So we get a nice stretch with the front of your throat. There we go, stretch. Pull your shoulder blades back and down. Think about lengthening through the spine and stretching up through your chin. Good. Still getting that stretch through your glutes as well. So we're having a nice long stretch through your glutes and your pelvis here. Fantastic. Slowly reduce, lower your chin down. Relax through the shoulders. Untuck that leg and let's swap round onto the other side. So the other leg is coming forwards and you're going to cross it across in front of you. Okay. The back leg lengthens and you're sinking your hips right down towards the mat. And we're getting deep into that stretch. Lower yourself down onto your elbows first of all. So again, this time the stretch is coming right through my bottom on this side. If I don't quite feel it in this neutral position, I'm going to lean into it. So I'm going to stick my bottom over towards that side a little bit more. There we go. So I've rocked right into my left hip this time, and I can really feel that stretch going through my glutes now. Good. So again, keep breathing. Don't ever hold your breath when you're doing any of these stretches. Breathe in and breathe out. And each time you breathe out, just maybe lean a little bit deeper into the stretch. Good. When you're ready, pop your hands up. Open through the chest and lift your chin up towards the corner of the room again. You're opening all the way through your chest. Keep pushing your chin up. Pull that face so you're really lifting your chin up towards the corner of the room. So you get that nice stretch through the front of your chest. Good. And then when you're ready, slowly untuck yourself. And I'm going to get you to come onto your back. So get yourself comfortable in your back and draw your knees in towards your chest. We're just going to start just rocking knees towards chest just to loosen out through the low back. Good. And then we're going to lengthen through the backs of the legs a little bit more. So take your hands and pop them behind your knees. So we'll just keep the knees nice and soft first of all. We're going to take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine you're blowing your legs up towards the ceiling. So breathe out, lengthen the legs. Breathe in as the knees come back down, and breathe out, lengthen. See if you can get a little bit further each time. Breathe in as your knees come down. Breathe out, lengthen the legs up. Breathe in as it comes down. Breathe out and lengthen. Let's do two more. Breathe in, let the knees just soften, relax, holding your spine in that nice tucked in position. Breathe out, stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Last one, really stretch. Breathe out. Fantastic. Now, see if you can keep one leg straight and hold around the back of the knee for one leg. And the other leg is going to keep stretching, stretching, stretching away as you lengthen it down towards the floor. Oh, we got a visitor. Breathe in as you bring the leg back up. Hello. Come on, out we go. How did you get the door open? There we go. Okay, holding on nice and tight. Lengthen. And then same leg, lowering it all the way down towards the ground. And bringing it all the way back up again. Let's do one more with that leg. Keep the other leg up towards the ceiling. Lower it all the way down so you're stretching all the way through the leg. Maybe push your heel away from you. You might feel that stretch is a bit easier for you or a bit stronger. And then swap onto the other side. Grab hold of the back of your knee, and the other leg's going to lengthen all the way down. Really push towards your foot so you're lengthening the leg as it goes down. We're opening up through the hip flexors at the front, but also stretching through all of the muscles in your leg. Here we go, 2 more. Lengthen it away and draw it all back up again. Good. Lengthen it all the way down. Maybe push your heel away, see if that helps to get the stretch, and then draw it all the way back up again. Fantastic. When you've done that, draw your knees in towards your chest and just circle your knees all the way around. Good. And the other way. Okay, pop your feet down onto the mat. Keep the knees bent up. We're just going to drop both knees down to one side. So we're going to start to get that rotation through the low back, because quite often that's a place where we get really tight. Breathe out, drop the knees down to the other side, and breathe in as you bring them back up. So we're just rotating through. Don't worry too much about what muscles are really working. Just think about stretching and rotating through the low back. So it's softening and easing the more you're dropping your knees down towards the floor as you do this. That's it, lovely. Don't go too quickly, but equally, if it's really slow, you're going to be really working the muscles. So let's try and stretch rather than overwork them. Okay, this time we're going to see if you can keep your knees dropped down. So I'm going to drop my knees, lift the top foot so it's coming off of the mat. Both knees are going down to one side. Arms are going to go out in this T shape. So I've got one arm going either side, and I'm going to turn my head to look at the opposite direction towards my knees. Okay, good. Keep looking away. With your top leg, you're going to straighten your top leg out and see if it can draw up and round a little bit further. So now we're really pulling that stretch into your low back. Okay, good. Remember, keep breathing. This is one where you may feel you want to hold your breath, but try not to. If you're feeling you need to hold your breath, you've perhaps pulled it too far into the stretch. So just take your leg back a little bit. Okay, you should be able to hold it nice and comfortably. And remember, if there's any pain in the groin, you need to come out of the stretch. Good. Keep breathing. Keep stretching. Fantastic. And then just gently slide that leg back so we've got knees bent and together. And we're going to spin the legs over or sweep them over. Drop the knees down towards the opposite side so both feet come up. Arms are still in that nice T shape, and we're turning your head to look towards the other side. Just hold that stretch. Just encourage the knees to drop down. They might not touch the ground. They might not even be together, but make sure they're comfortable. And when you're ready, take the top leg out, and you're going to draw it even further over. So it's creating a little bit more rotation. So my hips are going to follow my leg a little bit more as they go round. And I'm really stretching my leg round in that position there. Good. Keep breathing. Gets a bit tight through the ribs, so breathing becomes a little bit more of a challenge, but just keep drawing the air right down into the deep part of your lungs. Good. One more breath in this position. And then just sweep that leg back in. Very gently bring both knees back up to that center position. And I'm going to get you to come up to sitting. Come into this position. Okay, so let's have the legs out nice and straight in front of you. Okay. We are going to go through the centre first of all, then we'll focus on both sides. So we're opening up through the back and the backs of the legs as well. So sit up nice and tall, get right onto your sitting bones. So really planting your sitting bones into the mat. And from here, we're going to do a roll down first. So chin towards your chest and tuck your nose in towards your tummy button. So we're allowing the spine to curve. So kind of from the side, we're going from straight back to rolling and trying to create this nice little curved shape. So I'm going to curve down. And then from curving down, walking your hands forwards, keep walking your hands forwards, heads down towards the floor. You're aiming to put your nose on the floor. Some of you, they're going to think that's a joke, and some of you will think that that's easy. So just go with what you find that your legs will allow you to do. I'm nowhere near the floor, but I know a lot of people that do this stretch, their nose will be, they can lie nice and flat on the floor. We can only inspire to get that flexible. Okay. Just keep breathing. As you breathe out, just see if you can stretch your fingers just a tiny little bit further forwards. Breathe in, breathe out. Stretch your arms forwards a little bit. So now the stretch is coming right up through the upper part of your back as well. Breathe in, last one, and breathe out. Stretch. and breathe in and just walk your hands back up towards you, coming up nice and tall through the spine. Let's tuck one leg out the way. If your knee allows you to tuck it right in, bring it in. If it's not comfortable for you to bring your knee in, you can do this exercise with the leg out straight as well. If you're struggling, I've said many times before, when we do this exercise, if you're struggling in this position and your hip flexors are hurting, sit on a pillow or something that's going to raise you up. As soon as you're up higher, that will take that tension out of your hip flexors. So tuck one leg out the way. Let's spin the hips round so that our chest is facing the knee that we're going down towards. And for this one, there's no roll down. We flex forwards right from the hips. So lengthen your spine as much as you can. Drop your chin and your chest down towards your knee and walk your hands as far forwards with your down the leg as you're comfortable to go. So again, we're working with the breathing. Breathe in to hold and breathe out as you just soften everything down. Just ask your low back to release. Ask your chest to just drop down towards your knee a little bit. Breathe in, don't lose that position. Breathe in, hold it. And breathe out, ask it to go down a little bit more. Each time you breathe out, we should be able to get just a tiny bit deeper into the stretch. Breathe in to hold. And breathe out, just to soften down. Last bit. Head right towards your knee if you can. And then breathe in, walk your hands back up through the leg. And come up to sitting. Let's swap onto the other side. Tuck that knee in, or the opposite knee in. Spin your hips around, and let's drop your chest down. So lengthen through the spine. Drop your chest down towards your knee, and walk your hands down through that leg. Okay, bit of a difference between the sides. This one's definitely tighter for me. Okay, breathe in, hold your position. Breathe out, just see if you can soften and lengthen down. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Soften and lengthen as you come down. Good. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out, soften and lengthen down. Good. Last one, as you breathe in, walk your hands back up through the thigh and come up to sitting. Let's go onto your knees if you're comfortable to do that. You're coming right up onto your knees. If you struggle and your knees are a bit uncomfortable or you're not on very padded floor, use a pillow to just soften through your knee. So you can put something underneath your knee to make it a little bit more comfortable. So let's come into this 90 degrees position with the knee, 90 degrees with the hip. Think about your head and your shoulders on top of each other. So we're creating this nice straight line through the spine and the head. And all I'm going to get you to do is switch on with your bottom muscles. So it's as if you're pushing your hips forwards and you're sort of tucking your tailbone under and forwards. And as you do that, you should feel a nice stretch coming through the front of your thighs there. It's one of those really subtle, you sort of look at it and think, well, that's not going to do much. But when you try it, you would definitely feel that stretch through the front of your thigh there. Good. Keep switching on with your bottom. Keep your hips shifting forwards. Okay, just be careful that you're not tempted to rock too far forwards onto your kneecap. Still keep everything nice and straight, and the work's coming from that tuck under with the hips. So the more you tuck under, the more it's drawing the back of your pelvis backwards, which is where this quad muscle is attached to. So it's lengthening through the quads there. Good. Okay, we can get a little bit more stretch through the hip flexors. So we can take the front leg a little bit further forwards. Very gently roll yourself forwards on the knee. If this hurts your kneecap, just stay up in this position. But if you can roll forwards, let's take it down into a bit more of a lunge. So we're opening up through the hip flexors there. And if you want even more of a challenge, you bring your arms up. So we're starting to open up through the hip flexors all the way through here using the arms. You can take your arms back a little bit if you like. Just watch what's happening with your low back. Make sure you're not in any pain or discomfort through there. And just stretch nice and long through those hip flexors. Lovely. Good. When you're ready, let the arms float down. Keep holding that stretch through your hip flexor just to let it ease off a little bit. See if you can just sink down a little bit further if you can. Don't worry if you can't. Good. And then use your front leg. So push gently and slowly with the front leg as you bring yourself back to that start position. Swap the knees over. If you've got your pillow, just pop the pillow onto the other knee. Come into 90 degrees. There we go. So when you're there, think about that line, ears, shoulders, hips, knee, everything's in line, and you're going to scoop under with your pelvis. So you're just tucking your hips under, squeezing in with your bottom, and you're feeling that stretch through your hip flexors again. Should feel a nice lengthening through there. It's a really good one if you spent a lot of time sitting. Good. Okay. When you are ready, if you want to, you can take that front leg further forward. So only if your kneecap's going to be happy for you to do that. Take your leg a little bit further forwards and just slowly lean into it. Don't go too quickly because you don't want to put pressure onto your knee that you're kneeling on. Come down into that stretch. So now we're getting that nice, really long lengthening through the hip flexors there. So this may be enough for you. You may just want to stay there, hand just resting on the leg. If you want a little bit more, want to really open up through the abs and a little bit stronger through the hip flexors, then you're going to just take yourself into this opening position. Good. You can look straight ahead of you or you can look up. If you look up, you're challenging your balance as well. So maybe just to the corner of your room. There we go, just keep holding it. Again, keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. When you're ready, you can lower the arms down. Keep the stretch, just see if you can drop down a little bit more, deeper into that stretch if you can. Fantastic. Good, and then just push with that front leg as you slowly take your weight back over your knee so that you're not putting too much pressure onto it. You're going to put back onto all fours. You're going to tuck your toes underneath. So from here, push your hips right up towards the ceiling. So we're creating this down dog position, and we're going to walk through the heels. So hopefully we've lengthened through the legs enough that we can get your heels nice and comfortably towards the mat. I still can't get them to quite touch. It's one of the things I'm going to achieve before lockdown is completely over. So here we go, just keep working, pushing those heels towards the mat, just walk through. Should feel a lot easier than it did half an hour ago. There we go. And then walk your feet in towards the centre of your mat. Bring your hands back to the centre of your mat and just very gently work yourself up, nice and slowly, standing up nice and tall, and just circle through the shoulders. Lovely. Should feel a bit more lengthened now. Take a nice breath in, stretch up towards the ceiling, and breathe out, bring your arms down. Good. Breathe in, stretch towards the ceiling. And breathe out, let your arms just relax back down. Breathe in, come up. And breathe out as your arms come down. Onto your tiptoes this time. Breathe in, come all the way up. And breathe out as you come down. Good. Breathe in as you come up. And breathe out to come down. Breathe in as you come up. This time as you come down, bend your knees. And just give yourself a bit of a hug. So you're drawing your arms around, feel your shoulder blades separating, and then breathe in, come all the way up onto your tiptoes, and breathe out as you come down. You're coming down into this sort of squat position, but hold onto your shoulder blades. Good. Breathe in as you come up, last one. Breathe out, come around, hug. Fantastic. Stand yourself up, shake out through the arms, shake out through the legs. Hopefully you feel super stretched and relaxed, ready for a chilled out evening. I will see you on the next one.